here, my lord.
You'll have to tell it to wait, Frederick. The ladyship's not ready yet.
Very good, my lord.
Hello, Father.
Yes.
Oh, where are you going, all got up like that?
Banquet at the Guildhall. Oh. Gentlemen late. The dinner doesn't buck up.
Oh, what time you do there?
8:50 for 8:30. Well, what have you been doing with yourself today? Looking for a job?
No, Father, I have not. I'd rather we drop the subject if you don't mind. I've told you I'm pursuing various lines, and I'll let you know when there's any news.
I see. Well, I hope you're not squandering that money your great aunt Kate left you on...
On what? On loose living?
I wasn't going to say that.
No, but you thought it. Well, I have spent, not squandered, some of that money today, as a matter of fact, on something that you may regard as an extravagance.
What?
But I regard it as an investment in the future.
What?
Well, you know I've been taking these flying lessons down at Brooklands.
Yes, you told me. And you've got your A licence. That doesn't take £1,000.
No, Father, but you see, I've been looking ahead, you see, to the future. I really am most awfully keen on this aviation business and its commercial possibilities.
James, what are you trying to tell me?
I bought an aeroplane.
You've what?
I bought an aeroplane. No, reconnaissance machine from the Aircraft Disposal Company. It cost me £375. Took it up for the first time this afternoon.
I see. Well, I suppose you know what you're doing.
Of course I do, Father. It's a wonderful machine. An s05e04. Oh, a bit primitive, of course, but absolutely airworthy.
I'm very glad to hear it.
Oh, she handles beautifully. Like a thoroughbred hunter with a soft mouth.
Really?
Yeah, I took old Geoffrey Carter up in it. He's a fellow member down at Brooklands. We flew from Richmond right down the line of the river across London as far as the Thames estuary.
Did you?
I got to drop bombs on the electors at Rotherhithe.
Could you?
Bellamy's revenge. But I didn't. It is extraordinary, you know, being able to get from Richmond to Greenwich in a matter of minutes.
Yes, and we'll have to get from Eaton Place to the Guildhall in a matter of minutes. If the ladyship doesn't come down soon.
I could always fly you there.
Oh, no, thank you.
I'm sorry. Now, please, don't be cross with me.
No, guilty conscience.
Hudson sent word up to Rose to say that you were waiting for me. Is that so?
Taxi waiting, Virginia, and it's 10 minutes to 8.
So it is, darling. I've got the clock.
No, Virginia, I was just telling Father.
We haven't time, James.
Well, yes, we have, darling. You said that we were to leave at 5 to 8. It's only 10 to 8. What were you just telling your father?
Later, I think.
Virginia, why must you always cut it so fine?
Oh, Richard, I'm sorry, but William's got a sore throat and had to gargle, and then Alice wanted me to read an essay that she'd written for Miss Treadwell before they said their prayers.
Why couldn't Miss Treadwell settle them down for the night?
Because she's not their mother, darling, and neither is Rose.
Oh, you can't argue with that, Father.
No, you keep out of this.
Richard, I'm always ready on time when required. Isn't it my business what I do beforehand?
Yes, of course it is. It's just that I'd like you to have more time to bath and dress and do your hair in comfort when you're dining out like any other woman, instead of having to throw yourself together at the last minute.
I'm quite tidy, darling. I'm dressed and my hands are clean. James, am I not tidy?
Neat as a new pin, I'd say.
There, you see, I am your tidy, dressed wife, and oh, my God.
Now what?
I won't be a moment. I just,
Beg pardon, my lady. Your gloves.
Oh, thank you, Rose. I was wondering what...
Yes, you left them on Miss Alice's bed. And you left your evening bag on top of the nursery cupboard.
Oh, did I really? Well, thank you very much, Rose. I'm so grateful to you.
Not at all, lady.
There. I'm ready now, I think.
Well, then we must go now.
I would like a glass of sherry.
Virginia.
Oh, now, please, Richard, to give me courage, James, would you...
Virginia, we haven't got time.
I have, darling. It's 7 minutes to 8. I have got 2 minutes left.
Meanwhile, the taxi clock is ticking up and up and will cost a fortune.
And I'll pay for it out of my
You'll
allowance.
do nothing of the sort.
There you are, Virginia.
Oh, thank you,
Oh,
James.
it's a pity you're in such a rush. I wanted to tell you about my splendid new aeroplane.
No. But how... You bought an aeroplane of your own?
An Avro 504.
What, a two-seater?
Virginia, we really must go now. We can't be late for this sort of thing. Prince Arthur of Connaught is going to be there.
You must tell me all about it. It must be so exciting, isn't it, Richard?
Yes, it is. Good night, James.
I suppose you know that most of my sherry went up my nose.
Frederick,
Now, Freddie.
Sir?
Freddie, come in here a moment. I want to tell you something.
Sir?
Now, Freddie, remember those two-seater reconnaissance planes used to spot for our artillery during the war? Big biplanes with radial engines?
Oh, yes, I think so, sir.
Avro 504s, they were called.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, well, I've got one. Bought it this afternoon.
Go on, sir.
Well, the Air Force don't need them anymore, you see, so they're selling them off cheap to civilians like me. Got it down at Brooklands. Take you up in it if you like.
I'll be very interested, sir.
You would be. It's very thrilling flying, you know, especially in your own machine.
Yes, it must be, sir. And will you be dressing?
Huh?
I understand you're dining out, sir.
Oh, yes, I'm having dinner at the Royal Aero Club. You better lay me out a short coat and a black tie.
Sir?
Oh, and run me a bath, will you?
Very good, sir.
Oh, what a beautiful gown.
Elegant, didn't it? Yeah, you can hang it up if you like, if you've got clean hands. Careful, mind. It's heavy. I want to drop it. Be ever so careful with it.
You done out the Major's room? Oh, yes. He got up early this morning and went out riding. I watched him go from the bedroom window.
Did you?
Frederick says the Major's bought himself an airplane to pilot by himself.
So I've heard. Wouldn't catch me going up in one of them things, not if you paid me all tied together with bits of string. Probably come apart in the air.
He must be ever such a brave man, the Major.
Oh, yes, he was brave enough, all right, during the war. Now, I think he's just foolhardy. Well, get on and dust the dressing table.
I feel sorry for him, though, losing his wife like that when she was only young.
Yes, it was very sad.
He's nice, isn't he, the Major? I mean, he always has a nice, cheery word, that is. If he passes me on the stairs, he always says good morning to me and asks me if I'm settling in all right. And you know, I've been here 2 years last May.
You want to be careful, Lily. Don't encourage him.
What do you mean?
Don't get too familiar.
Oh, no, I wouldn't do that, never.
See, he was a bit of a rip when he was young, was Master James, in his 20s.
What?
Well, perhaps I oughtn't to mention it, but no, it's something you should know. There was a bit of a bother with one of the housemaids we had before the war called Sarah. Now, I don't want to go into any details because it's a long time ago and the Major's a grown man now, been through the war and his marriage and everything, but you know what they say, leopard can't change his spots. If you get my meaning?
You told me about Sarah when I first come here. You said she left to marry the chauffeur.
She did.
You didn't say nothing about her and the Major.
No. Oh, I just thought I'd mention it. He's lonely now since Mrs. Bellamy died. Bit on his own, all restless, can't seem to settle to anything. And as I say, he's always had an eye for a pretty girl.
So?
So, you're a pretty girl like Sarah was. Oh, let's hope he gets married again like his father, settles down with a good woman.
I think he's ever so nice.
Oh, so do I, Lily. It's just that he's a bit of a lad with the girls. See?
I see.
Yeah, when you've finished here, I want you to go out and light the nursery fire, because Master William's stopping in with his sore throat.
Right.
And, no need to mention what I said to anyone downstairs.
Oh, no, of course not.
Least of all Daisy. She'd take advantage.
Oh, all right then.
You all right, Mr. Hudson?
What?
What happened?
The tree fell.
I'll see to it, Mr. Hudson.
What's up?
Nothing is up, Ruby. The tree is too wide for the pantry door, that's all. Go back to the kitchen.
Mrs. Bridges and me had an awful crash, and I nearly jumped out of his skin.
Well, you could jump back into your skin again, Ruby. There's no harm done.
You should have let me carry this, Mr. Hudson. It's heavy.
I have been carrying this tree, Frederick, in and out of that pantry door since before you were born.
It's time you stopped and let a younger man do the heavy work.
I beg your pardon.
You've only to call me if there's something you can't manage, Mr. Hudson. Perhaps his lordship's heavy overcoat.
Now, just you listen to me, Frederick. If you're going to continue as footman here, you will kindly carry out my orders to you and refrain from acting on your own initiative. I've had to remind you on more than one occasion to inform me when members of the family come in and out of this house. In a residence of this size, the butler is responsible at all times for the smooth running of the household.
I only tried to save you the stairs, Mr. Hudson, because Rose says you're not getting any younger and I was to help you as much as possible.
Rose had no business to say that.
I see, so I'm not to lift heavy trays for you or answer bells when you're in.
There, morning room.
That'll be the dining room, Mr. Hudson, to clear away breakfast.
You may well be right. In either case, go and answer it.
Very good, Mr. Hudson.
What a beautiful day. Crisp and clear and sunny.
Oh, my head. That won't please the Sea Lords.
What won't? The weather?
Arthur Lee's put the cat among the pigeons at the Washington Naval Conference. He's made a speech in highly unparliamentary language, demanding the scrapping of all submarines. Without a word to Balfour or the French delegation beforehand. He may be First Lord, but he's not God.
Charles's father always said that Lee was a good civil lord.
Hmm?
Oh, not as good as you, of course, darling, but competent.
Thank you. Well, Lloyd George thinks very highly of him. But he'll never be Prime Minister because he's not a gentleman.
Whose opinion is that?
Not mine, Curzon's. We were talking about him last night, oddly enough. Curzon can't stick him.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. Lord Curzon can't stick anyone who isn't a duke or royal.
No. Well, when I waded through Northcliffe's alarmist rubbish about a war between Greece and Turkey, I think I was going to my study and write some letters.
All right, darling, then I can send for Mrs. Bridges in here and order the meals.
Top of the morning, Jibber.
James?
James, have you had breakfast? I've just run for them.
Yes, had it early, thanks. I say, it's a cracking fine day, you know. Jolly warm for October.
Yes, isn't it?
I can't think of anything more gloriously exciting than a canter round Rotten Row before breakfast, followed by a sprint down to Brooklands in the motor, a flip in the air in my old Avro.
That's to be your day, is it?
That's right. You know, the funny thing about riding and flying is they're a bit alike, really. My instructor says if you're a good horseman, i.e. if you've got good hands and a sense of balance, you should make a good pilot.
You are a good horseman, so you must be a good pilot.
Yeah, well, I don't want to boast too much, but I am pretty good. Got through the test without a mishap. Passed my navigation test first time. A couple of the chaps out at the flying school had to land in the sewage farm last week. It's one of the hazards down there, either that or the motor racing track.
How fast does your aeroplane go?
Oh, 80, 90 miles an hour. Just think of that. Oh, by the way, Virginia, I've had a capital idea. As it is such a glorious day, why don't you come down with me to Brooklands and see the old crate? I'll take you up in it if you like.
Oh, yes, please, I'd love to do that, could I?
Of course you can. We go for a joyride.
Is it very thrilling up in an aeroplane? I've always wanted to fly.
Oh, it's extraordinary. I mean, the people on the ground, they look like insects. And the houses and the fields, they look like toys on the nursery floor. You'd be crazy about it.
I don't wish to dampen your enthusiasm, James, but Virginia knows perfectly well I'm opening an important debate on foreign affairs and laws this afternoon.
Oh, I can't see what that's got to do with it.
Can't you?
You'd like me to go with you and sit in the gallery, wouldn't you, and listen to your speech?
It's not a case of what I'd like, Virginia. I thought we'd agreed that you'd sit in the Strangers' Gallery with old Lady Morning, and we'd have tea in the house after the debate.
Oh, yes, so we did. How depressing.
Oh, now, come on. You don't have to do that, do you? They'd understand. Now, tell them you've got a cold and then come with me.
I think you'd better ask your father, James.
Oh, now, Father, Virginia can hear you make a speech from the Lords at any time. It isn't always such perfect flying weather as this. Quite sure Lady Morning won't die of a broken heart if Virginia isn't there. Now, let her come flying with me.
It's not a case of let her come either, James. Virginia's an adult person. Perfectly free to choose how she wishes to spend her afternoon. Excuses can be made for the mornings if necessary. I'm merely suggesting it would be more fitting for her to be seen in the gallery while her husband is opening an important debate rather than to be seen going up in an aeroplane at Brooklands with her stepson. The choice is yours, Virginia.
Oh, Richard, that's most unfair.
What is?
Oh, to put it all onto me.
Do you wish me to forbid you to go flying with James? Is that it? Like some stern Victorian husband?
I'd almost rather you did in some ways.
Well, I am not going to. You must make up your own mind.
Well, of course I would rather go up in James's machine than sit in a Lord's all afternoon. Who wouldn't on a day like this? Besides, I've never been up in an aeroplane. It would be something new, something to do with the future, not the past.
Well, as I said before, the choice is yours.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have asked you in the first place. I wish I hadn't now.
Well, if you are coming with me to the Lords, Virginia, we must have lunch at 1 o'clock sharp and leave the house at 2:15. I'll be in my study if you want me.
And if you want to come for a joyride with me, Virginia, we could leave the house at midday, have lunch down at Brooklands, and be up in a clear blue sky by 2:15. 1,000 feet over London. It's for you to say. It's your life, not Father's. Well?
I'll inform his lordship you're here, my lady.
Thank you, Hudson. But don't hurry him if he's in the study. I am a little early.
Very good, my lady. May I pour you a glass of sherry?
Thank you. Family all well?
Indeed. Thank you, my lady.
Oh, did Miss Georgina get off all right to America?
Oh, yes, my lady. She sailed at the end of last week.
I expect she was glad to get right away from the reporters and everybody after the tragedy.
Oh, yes, my lady. We were all quite shocked and upset by the incident. That such a thing should happen in this house.
Well, I believe the young gentleman who shot himself upstairs was not quite sane.
So I understand, my lady.
Well, we live in very disturbing times, do we not, Hudson?
I fear so, my lady. Oh, Prudence, forgive me not receiving you. I was in my study, finishing some notes for this afternoon. Noble of you to come and support me.
Support you?
Yes, with your company.
Richard, dear, I'm an old enough friend, God knows, and I love you very dearly. But in all the years that I've known you and darling Marjorie, I have never been invited round here for luncheon at 30 minutes' notice.
No, I don't suppose you have.
Heaven knows I've been dragged in often enough to make up the numbers when ladies have trapped at the last minute. but I have usually had time to look out a hat to wear.
I know.
But to arrive home from my dentist at 12:30, to find a note from you, more or less ordering me round here for luncheon at 1, well, I wonder why.
I'll tell you exactly why, Prue. I'm opening an important debate on foreign affairs of the Lords this afternoon, leading a salvo of big guns. Lansdowne, Birkenhead, Newton, Derby. This would be an all-out assault on Lord George's refusal to listen to advice on Ulster. You want an end to the coalition, nothing less.
And where do I come in?
I want your support
Well, I can't make a speech. I'm not a peer.
in the gallery, and with old Lady Morley at tea afterwards, would you?
I really have no choice, have I?
No, quite frankly, I don't think you have.
Oh, all right, Richard, dear. You know I'd do anything for you. I'm usually bored stiff in the house, especially the Lords, but since you're giving me lunch, I suppose I shall have to pay for it.
Good girl, I knew you'd come. More sherry?
Oh, no, I must get squiffy and let you down. As a matter of passing interest, where is Virginia?
She's not here.
No, I can see that. I just wondered how she was and where she was.
She's gone to Surrey for the day.
Oh. Surrey?
Surrey.
What part of Surrey?
Near Weybridge.
How extraordinary. Does she know anybody in Weybridge?
Not to my knowledge.
How is James?
Oh, James is very well.
Oh, good, I am glad.
He's taken up flying, you know.
No, I didn't know.
Oh, yes, he got himself an aeroplane.
Oh, what on earth for?
Oh, to fly about in, I suppose.
Oh, where? Across the Channel? Oh, not the Atlantic Ocean, like Alcock and whoever it was.
No, I don't think so. He just likes flying about.
Oh, well, there's no accounting for taste, I suppose.
I do wish he could find a proper occupation. His defeat in the by-election at Rotherhithe left him very bitter, you know. He was confident he'd get in, and it came as quite a shock to him.
Oh, it must have done. To be defeated by that dreadful Labour creature. Oh, I detest them and all they stand for.
You might as well get used to them, Prue. They're here to stay.
Oh, God help us. Well, anyway, how are you these days?
I'm well and happy, naturally.
Not finding those dear little children too noisy?
Oh, no. Governess has got them well under control.
And Rose, I gather.
Oh, yes, Rose, too. She's supposed to be Virginia's personal maid, but she's now become a self-appointed nanny as well. Spends most of her time up in the nursery.
Your little steps, intelligent children?
Average. Alice does lessons every day with another child under Miss Treadwell's expert guidance, and William goes to his preparatory school in the spring.
So all's right with the world. Your world, I mean.
Yes, I think so. Luncheon is served, my lord. Come along, Prue. We'll be late for Westminster.
Oh, it's a most lovely day. Have you noticed? Not a cloud in the sky. We really should be doing something in the fresh air this afternoon, not sitting in the House of Lords listening to a succession of deadly boring speeches. Oh, not yours, Richard. I mean other people.
Oh, nobody back yet?
Not as far as I know, Rose.
Do you see this photograph of her ladyship?
Yeah, I was just looking at it.
She don't like it, but I think it's lovely, and I told her so.
Oh, yeah?
Look, she looks more like a mischievous schoolgirl than a viscountess.
Yeah, she does.
Oh, well, I must put the milk on for the nursery. You coming?
Yeah, I finished it here, Rose.
Oh, Ruby, Mrs. Bridges back yet?
Yes, she come in a few minutes ago. She's gone up to her room.
Put the milk on for the nursery for me, will you?
In a jiffy, Rose. Hey, Mrs. Bridges says it's coming in foggy.
I know it is.
You can hardly see the house across the road.
No, well, I must go and get my work box.
I'll call you when the milk's boiled, Rose.
Thanks, Ruby. Oh, Mr. Hudson. Her ladyship isn't in yet, but she told Miss Treble she'd be back in time for nursery tea at 5, and it's gone 6.
Our ladyship left the house with the Major in his motor car before luncheon rose. I understood they were driving down to the country for the day. They'd hardly be back yet.
Well, why say about nursery tea, then, and disappoint the children? I don't know.
Well, there was to be no morning room tea today, I know that much. His Lordship and Lady Prudence were taking tea at the House of What are you hanging about for, Frederick?
I was waiting for an opportunity to speak to you, Mr. Hudson.
Well, speak, unless you've lost your tongue.
We were trained in the army to wait for permission to speak to our seniors.
Were you?
I was only going to suggest that you might like me to go into Canton Port for tonight, Mr. Hudson, and save your feet.
I have already told you, Frederick, my feet do not require saving, and I'll thank you to get on with your own work in the pantry. It is a butler's place to decant the port unless he gives orders to the contrary.
I'm only trying to help, Mr. Hudson.
Oh, listen, there's a front door.
I heard nothing.
Ah, but my ears is younger than yours, Mr. Hudson.
Sounded like somebody coming in.
Did it indeed?
What's the front door, Mr. Hudson?
Go and prepare the shabby tray then, Frederick. Just prepare it, mind, and leave it on the hall table. I shall take it into the morning room myself when it is asked for.
Very good, Mr. Hudson.
I mustn't stay long, Richard. Well, not too long, anyway. You've had me for luncheon and most of the afternoon. I don't want to outstay my welcome.
I'll have something to warm you before you leave. Oh, Hudson, bring the whiskey and some sherry, will you? Very good, my lord. Hudson, is her ladyship upstairs with the children? No, my lord. Her ladyship has not returned yet. She hasn't. I see. I suppose my watch is correct. It's just gone 6:15, my lord. Yes, that's what I thought.
What time were you expecting Virginia back from Surrey?
She didn't say.
Was she motoring or going by train?
She's motoring.
Well, either way, she's most likely delayed by the fog. It's really quite thick now, you know.
Then why hasn't she telephoned?
Perhaps they're not on the telephone, these people that she's visiting. Richard, you're not worried about her, are you?
Ah, let me give her some sherry.
Are you, Richard?
Am I what?
Worried about Virginia?
If you really want to know, Prue, yes, I am. I am damn worried about her. Fog's getting thicker every minute. And as an old and trusted friend, I have to tell you something else you don't know.
About what?
About where my wife is or was this afternoon.
It's grand. Eh, Lily? Can you play a jig, Frederick?
Eh?
Well, then Ruby and me could dance for you.
All right, ladies, anything to oblige?
Come on.
His lordship's had breakfast, Mr. Hudson. And I've cleared away in the dining room. Lady Prudence had coffee upstairs.
Oh, thank you, Frederick. Now, I suggest you polish the Major's riding boots. We must all occupy our hands the better to keep our minds off the other matter.
Very good, Mr. Hudson.
Is Rose upstairs?
No, she's gone round the chemist for some linctus for Master William.
I see.
Thank you, child. I wonder, could you find me such a thing as a piece of cotton wool? What is your name?
Lily, milady.
Lily, I see.
I'll look in her ladyship's bathroom.
Thank you. Oh, I look and feel as though I'd spent the night in a cattle truck on the Trans-Siberian Railway.
I've a new bath for you, milady, and Rose has put out one of her ladyship's bathrooms.
Thank you, child.
Will that be all, milady?
Yes, you can run along now. Oh, but if you hear any news, come and call to me through the bathroom door.
Very good, milady.
Go and answer that, would you, Frederick?
Yes, Mr. Hudson.
Now, Frederick, be courteous, but tell them that there is no news and his lordship has nothing further to say.
Very good, Mr. Hudson. Hello? Lord Bellamy's house. The footman speaking. Pardon, sir? I can't hear you very well. Would you mind repeating that? A what? A trunk call? From where? Your voice is very faint, sir. Would you mind repeating that? Oh, I see. Hold on, sir. It's the police. In Bournemouth, Mr. Hudson.
Hello, Lord Bellamy's butler speaking. I'm having some difficulty hearing you. The line is very bad. Yes, I'll connect you with his lordship right away. They have? Your son? Both safe? Well, that's the most tremendous news. I can't tell you what a relief it's been. What? Yes, I understand.
Excuse me, milady. Oh, milady, it's not my business to listen, but there's someone on the telephone to his lordship in the morning room, and it sounds as though there's good news. I heard him say as I was going down to the front hall that it was a Bournemouth policeman.
What time of Waterloo? 1:17. Yes, I'll have the train met. Well, thank you indeed for your help. I'm most grateful to you for letting me know. Yes, I write to the chief constable and of course... Yes, thank you, Mr. Royston. Goodbye.
Well...
They're safe.
Oh, well...
In a train, on our way back from Bournemouth, of all places. Hudson, the plane landed near Bournemouth, and they're unhurt. God be praised, my lord. They lost their bearings in the fog last night over the West Country. They flew due south instead of due east, and broke cloud over Swanage. The plane ran ashore of petrol, and Major Bellamy had to land on the mud flats of Poole Harbour. Fortunately, the tide was out. They spent the night on the plane, and in the morning, Major walked 2 miles to a cottage where there was no telephone. Someone took him in a pony trap to Bournemouth, where he reported the accident to the police.
Oh, that's a mercy, my lord.
Yes. Hudson, Tell Edward to take the car to meet the 1:17 train at Waterloo. Lord. Oh, yes, just wait a minute. And they should be here by 1:45. We'll have to put luncheon back until 2 o'clock. Let Mrs. Bridges know.
Very good, my lord.
Oh.
I'm going to leave you now, Richard. I shall have a bath when I get home.
No, go through, must you?
Oh, yes, you don't want me now.
Been wonderful, Prue, thank you.
Oh, my dear Richard, you know you can always count on me at any time. Anyway, you've got them back, so I'll just retire from the scene. I have my reformed criminals at 2 o'clock. No, 2:30. Anyway, I couldn't have lunched. Just give them my love.
I will.
But you can tell James that if he insists on flying that wretched machine, he's to fly it round and round the aerodrome by himself. I couldn't go through another night like last night. I'm far too old.
Edward has just left for the station with the car. Oh, there will be smiles and joy upstairs directly. How dare you do this to me? Damn you, both of you. Quite unforgivable. Been out of my mind with worry.
I'm sorry, Father. It was my fault. I should never have attempted Southwold in fog. It came down very quickly. The compass failed me as well. I'm very sorry.
Oh, Richard. I'm sorry I shouted at you. You're not hurt, are you? Either of you?
No, we're not hurt, but you are, and I need your forgiveness. I did a childish, impetuous thing, trying to show my independence, I suppose. I only wanted to spread my wings a little.
You must blame me, Father. I egged her on to come. She simply got caught up in my enthusiasm, that's all.
I'm deeply sorry for all the fuss and worry I've caused you and the servants.
I'm sure they'll get over it.
That goes to me too, Father.
Well, these things happen, you know. Gives one a chance to examine one's feelings. I suggest we forget all about it and thank God you're back.
Oh, yes, thank God.
Well, I'll tell Hudson to telephone the newspapers and say that you're both safe and sound. I'll go upstairs and bath and change your clothes and we'll have luncheon at 2 o'clock.
Yes, Father.